Hi everyone. In today's video, we are demonstrating how to automate SQL Always on Availability. We will be following this document. So let's start and check the prerequisites first. Yep. In this test, we will using a domain controller, which is AD domain controller on Windows Server 2022. We will be using a domain account and a GMSA account. This GMSA account is to run the SQL service with. And the domain admin account is with the domain admin rights to do the necessary action. Our lab is a 2 SQL Server nodes setup. Both nodes are SQL 2022 servers running on Windows Server 2022. We will make sure that the connectivity between all the servers is working and name resolutions are there. Also, we are using Azure storage account for Cloud Witness. So the script, PowerShell script we will be using is below, and it performs these steps. In the script, the first thing we do is we create PowerShell PS sessions between primary and secondary. We're running, the script needs to be run on primary node, but we'll still do all the tasks, creating a PS session with primary node as well. Script runs and it checks for the second node. If the secondary node is not up, it waits for the time specified. You can change the time in the script and it waits until the node comes up. And if the node doesn't come up in the specified time, the script terminates there. We are also using an Azure storage account and that is for Cloud Witness and also to keep the SQL backup, which will be copied to the primary node and will be installed on the SQL server. I should say restore. It will be restored on the SQL server. And if there is no backup, if it doesn't find a backup in the backup directory, the script doesn't fail, it just creates a dummy backup and it uses that. And in this step, number 4, it installs SCT tools, which is basically Active Directory module, and it's not really required, but we are installing it to test the GMSA account is working on both nodes. We need to enable WMI rules in the Windows firewall to establish the connection and the communication between nodes. We will also allow the SQL traffic through the firewall. Script allows SQL Server traffic through the firewall. It retrieves the current user details. That's not important. It's just to see what user we are running as. We add all the users we are using. So there will be 3 accounts in this example, but we will be using mainly 2. One is a GMSA account, and there is a domain account which we will use to log into the server and run the script as. And then we have a SQL sysadmin account, which we will use to add these accounts to the SQL server. And then we configure the services to run as GMSA account. We will make sure the TCP/IP protocol is enabled on both nodes, and we'll restart the service. If it's not enabled, we will enable it and restart the service. Step 12, script will create a backup folder if it does not exist already. It will assign NTFS permissions to this backup folder, and then it shares this backup folder with the user credentials. So node 2 can access the backup when later in the script there is a task when node 2 installs the backup from the backup file. So when script goes to step 15, it's basically connects to the storage account. It downloads the backup file to the backup folder, which we create if it doesn't exist. Then it installs the failover clustering feature, and it makes sure that the failover clustering feature is installed on both, and then creates a failover cluster. And then it configures the cloud with. Then it enables always on availability group on each SQL server instance. It installs SQL Server Management Tools. It's optional, not really needed, but just in case if we need to do further testing. Then the script looks for the backup file, which it downloaded from the storage account. If the file exists, it checks that and it restores it on node 1 first. And it takes its backup, full backup, and a transactional log backup. In step 23, it checks and makes sure that the header endpoint is started on primary node. Step 24, it grants connect permissions to the endpoint on primary node. Step 25, verify the always on health session is started on the primary node. In step 26, same endpoint checks on secondary node, make sure the connection permissions are there. Always health session is started on secondary node. Then it creates the availability group on the primary node. Add a listener to the availability group on the primary node, joins the secondary node to the availability group, grant create any database permissions to the availability group, restores the backup on the secondary node in no recovery mode, joins the database to the availability group on the secondary node, removes all PowerShell sessions created earlier in this demo. Let's go to the primary VM and check all the settings, make sure that it's ready for SQL high availability. So this is our primary node. The IP address assigned to this node is 192.168.0.239. So first thing we want to do is we want to see if the name resolutions are working. So we go to the PowerShell, say ns lookup, and we want to make sure that SQL2 we can resolve that with the name. So that looks good. Let's check the IP address of this VM. Just make sure it's the right IP address, IP config. Yes, that is 239. That's where we're remoting into. And last thing we want to check is if it's if the GMSA account is working on this. Test AD service account and service account name, which is GMSA SQL in our case. So hit enter. That should come with true. So that's a good sign. Okay, so let's check the firewall. Firewall should be turned on. Check firewall status. Yep, it's turned on. Looking good. Let's go to node 2 and check all the settings on node 2 as well. So this is our node 2. You can see the IP address 184. Let's go to Windows PowerShell. Let's check the IP address, IP config. Yes, that's 184. Check test AD service account, GMSA SQL. True, that's a good sign. Let's check the firewall status as well. And firewall is up and running. Let's check the SQL configuration. Config, SQL configuration manager, server. And if you go to SQL service, SQL service is running and it's running as that account at the moment. But once the availability script finishes, it will switch that to the GMSA account. Agent service will change as well to GMSA account. I can close that. Let's go back to node 1 again. This is node 1. Yep, 239. And check the same configuration here. Config, SQL configuration, and service. Again, service is running under anti-service, and it's up and running. And that is stopped, and it's running as that. It will be switched once the script finishes successfully. Protocols, TCP is disabled, but that will automate. This needs to be enabled, but our script checks that and does that. If it's not enabled, it will do that. Let's check the accounts on the SQL Server. So just to make sure the accounts are not already there, that will be added later on when we run the script. Yep, it comes up. Okay, so yep, we want to connect. To take that, connect. So we should connect to instance 1, which is SQL Server. So if I go to databases, there's no databases. If you go to security, logins, you will see only SA account there, and labmin, which was added when we install it. So there's no GMSA account. There is another account we're going to add, which is svc.sql. It's like a service account. It's like a user account, but it has like name as SQL service account, but it's a normal account, not a GMSA account. GMSAs are basically group managed service account. They don't have passwords. But once the script finalizes everything, we will be able to connect here with the second node as well and check all the settings on that. And then we will do the post installation of high availability tests, like doing a failover manually, making sure all the listeners are created, everything is created. We'll go into the Active Directory and see all the objects are created. We'll see the DNS entries as well. So let's copy the script now, and we'll proceed from there. So I will cancel that. Let's run the PowerShell. Right click, run as administrator. Yes. Okay, so let's copy the script from our document. This document here. So this is the script here. So I will copy that and go back to the node, primary node, and just paste it here. So let's move that away. First thing we want to do is you want to save that script, save, and I will save. Doesn't really matter. And I'll just move it away so we can see the action. Yes. So it's installing the necessary packages at the moment. Installing az.storage module. Hi, it's looking good so far. There we go. Looking good. So it started downloading the Adventures Work 2022 backup file from Azure Cloud. And if I go to this quickly to storage account, we should be able to see that. So this is a backup it's downloading. There's a file here. Because Adventures Work 2022.back. And if I go back into containers, we don't have another container here, but there soon you will see another container here, which is for the witness account. So it's still downloading. That's good. So I should create a folder on storage account, a container, I should say, for Cloud Witness for failover clustering. It does take a little bit time on this step, usually a minute or so. I'll pause the video here for a minute or so, and when it comes back, I will resume the video. Okay, I can see it started moving for a little bit further, 92%. It took almost 4 minutes to do that. Okay, that's good. So it looks like the backup is downloaded, installed, everything. This is creating a new cluster now. It should be quick. Go. Cloud Witness has been successfully configured. We will go to Azure Storage account and check that later once the script is finished. It should be pretty quick now. It should not take more than 5 minutes. Okay, it's moving. So, sorry, it's restoring the backup and it's running all those T-SQL queries in the script one at a time. So I think 14 steps it needs to do. So we are already on 9, so that's pretty good. And 12, finished successfully. Let's minimize this and check what we got. So first thing we want to check is the cloud witness. For that, I will go to the storage account and refresh here, and you can see there's a MSFT cloud witness container, and if you go in there, there should be a file with 0 bytes. It's just a witness. It checks it for quorum testing, so that is a good sign. It's created. Let's go to SSMS and see if we got all the accounts and everything configured. And then we will check on node 2 as well, making sure the services is running as expected. So we'll do connect. Okay, so we should have a database here now. Yep, Adventure works and it's synchronized. That's a good sign. Let's go to security tab, logins, and we should see GMS account there. Nevin was already there, and this is the one I was talking about. It's just a normal account we just added. If someone doesn't want to use GMSA account, they can switch to that account as well. You just need to update the script a little bit to use that for running services and everything if you don't have a GMSA account. Otherwise, this is not really required because we already had this account added when we installed SQL on these servers. Let's have a look at the always on high availability. So we should have a group. Yes, we got lab AG1 primary, and this is a primary node, it knows that. And if we go to replicas, you can see that's primary, this is secondary. Let's see the database. Database is there and it's green. And listener, and the listener is there as well. Let's connect to SQL 2 certificates. There we go, it's connected with this account, so that's a good sign. We'll find out why it's not connecting with the other account. So let's minimize this and look at the databases here, and it's synchronized state, which is good. Security, and if we go to logins, we should have all 3 accounts plus SA, which we just used. And availability on node 2. So replicas there, secondary 02, AdventureWorks, lab test. Okay, let's go check the config manager of SQL server. Let's see what services it's running under now. So you can see protocol is enabled. We go to services back. It's running under GMSA account, and this one is running under GMSA account as well. So that's good. Cancel that. And we can actually test the failover while we are here. So we go to dashboard, and we are testing it from 2. So we might need to authenticate. So if I click on that, should open everything green. It knows it's synchronized. There's only one database at this stage, which is synchronized. So let's do failover, manual failover, and see if we can do that. Because we're on that machine, so it's not going to ask us to connect. We already connected, so it should be quick. So it passed all the tests and everything. Visit completed successfully. Close that. And if I refresh it now, there you go. It's automatically refreshed anyways within 10-15 seconds. So automatic synchronized looks good. Well, we go here and we refresh that and check for nodes again and see which one is primary now. So 02 should be SQL 2 should be primary, SQL 1 should be secondary. As you can see, that's switched. And that should be the same result on this end as well. So if I refresh that, click here, availability group, replicas, secondary, and that's primary. So it goes, okay, that concludes our test for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. That